Think back to school and think about one specific teacher, the one who inspired you to be you in the classroom. This teacher gave you what many would consider a gift for life, the gift of learning. Besides our parents, a teacher is someone who not only educates students about the world around them, but demonstrates the importance of subjects learned in the classroom at an early age. They enable students to fall in love with a subject, and it ties into their likings, which eventually turns into a career. Online author Yoki Terada of the work Understanding a Teacher's Long-Term Impact states that ninth grade teachers who improve their students' non-cognitive skills, which include motivation and the ability to adapt to new situations, as well as self-regulation, had important impacts on those students in the long run. Today, I will be describing the need to pay teachers a better salary in the US, the steps to make it happen, the long-term effects it will have, and why it would need to happen. Teachers across the United States need to be paid more. In the field of education, teachers are often called the bridges to greater success. This is because they perform a challenging job by educating the minds of nearly tens of hundreds to thousands of students a year. Teachers dedicate a large number of time into their work, inside and outside the classroom. They only get paid for the work and the effort they put in when in school, but they also have lives outside of school. When they work outside of school, they do not get paid for their contributions, and usually their efforts are put in for the betterment of their classrooms or their students. When the voices of many teachers come together, they unionize and ask from their local governments to better the situation of further classrooms, whether it be classroom size management, a better raise, or an overall better union. Grace Hawk of US Today says that the teachers went on strike on October 17, 2019, after months of failed negotiations with Chicago Public Schools, or CPS, and the city. The strike idled academics, sports, and college prep for almost 350,000 students and their families. When these teachers are not given a livable wage to operate off of, they look for other options as a means to have their needs met. This can happen in a common form known as a strike. And when strikes happen, the students are often out of the classroom for a long time, as well as their teachers. But in the long run, it's the students who suffer the repercussions of losing valuable learning time. After addressing the problem of salaries, I will be discussing the possible solutions to this problem. In order to take on this issue head on, the minimum wage for teachers must not only be increased to a sustainable source of income, but by doing so, diverting funds or even tax locations and people who do not necessarily require as much money, such as the wealthy and the upper class. This works in the aspects of the money taxed from the wealthy going towards something worth every cent, the betterment of students and the possibilities of them going on and succeeding in life. This isn't just in the practical aspect, but a long-term one too. By allowing teachers to have a livable wage, they will not be forced to look for other means of income, such as a second job, and it allows them to even improve a classroom learning environment for their students, such as a better lesson plan or other activities to enable their students to go above and beyond and make their classroom setting a lot better. When the state takes care of its teachers by giving them what they need, they not only perform better, but it also attracts educators who really want to make an impact on the lives of students, especially those who qualify for certain criteria of specializations, such as art teachers who want to help the students who are interested in art, computer teachers who are interested in students in STEM majors, or other factors like that. There are some who would say that it's more important to pay the school systems a large sum of money over the teacher's overall income, but that leaves a key element to an immediate downfall: corruption. When money is given to a school system, it is more probable that it will either end up as a bigger raise for someone else in power instead of being directly placed into the teacher's hand. Not only giving teachers a standpoint where they started from all over again, but affecting them in a greater aspect that they weren't promised what they were set for in the first place. After looking at the possible plan for teachers to obtain an increase in their wage, I will be moving on to talk about the pros and the cons about taking this action. With paying these teachers in the US a higher and livable wage, the choice can be made or denied. That being said, there are different outcomes that can likely occur from the situation. If the salary for educators in the United States is increased steadily, teachers are not only promised a job that pays well as an income, but it influences the minds of the future, the students. It influences the minds of our children and our grandchildren, and it leaves an impact on them. However, if a solution is not found to pay our educators a better wage, it is more likely that these teachers become more susceptible to seek change and demand for new contracts from their local governments. This would not only lead to teachers being outside of the classroom for a longer period of time, but it would also mean that students are out of the classroom for a longer period of time and they're not obtaining the necessary class time and education that they need to realize their dreams into a reality and for educators to hone in on student skills. As a collective, we have to take care of the education system we have in place for our students. But it's also important to make sure that we have people there who are not only motivated for the ideals to teach children, but driven to do their best based on a salary that not only supports teachers, but supports these teachers' families as well. To want this change, the people have to come together and request for it to happen. Informally, it could be done over social media, but to take this to a more formal aspect, it would have to be taken as a petition or a bill to the government. But this can only be done through the support of the teachers that is gained by the people. Not just for a better pay, but for the better education for students altogether. Today I have expressed the concerns and the effects of why U.S. teachers need to be paid a better salary. We have to hold our teachers to a higher standard when it comes to paying them, because they are in charge of helping students strive towards a goal in life. With an increase of the salary, the success rate of students increases exponentially, as well as teachers are driven to help our students' success. The ability to measure the full value of a teacher goes beyond improving a student's test score. Instead, it is the way that they help a student feel as they belong in order to create a greater impact. Teachers are those who improve students' non-cognitive skills and improve long-term outcomes that includes their odds of graduating. I can speak from experience because I know my teachers and my professors did exactly the same when I signed on to building my career and to become a better learner in the classroom.